In today's video, I'm sharing with you one thing that truly appealed to me about homeschooling. It's something that I always had a desire to do. Hi everyone, I'm Holly. Welcome back to my video. I'm so glad you're here today. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I make video content on family and home. And today's video, we're talking about homeschooling. This is also another part of my Homeschooling 101 series in which I am defining the lingo of homeschool from when I got started homeschooling 3 years ago and was exposed to so many new words. And one of those was road schooling. And I'm like, well, what is road schooling? Well, that's what we're talking about in today's video. In addition to me bringing you some tips and ideas for field trips for your homeschool family. Let's dive right in and answer the question, what is road schooling? Road schooling is exactly what it sounds like. It is homeschooling while you are on the road, while you are traveling to different places and exploring new cultures. That's what road schooling is all about. It's taking your kids along with you and your family as you travel within the states and across the world to learn while you are home educating them. And that to me was something that sounded so exciting and so intriguing when I began to learn about homeschooling. And you know, that's my secret. I'm letting the secret out the bag. I secretly want to road school my kids one day if the opportunity presents itself. I just cannot imagine something so exciting and so full of fun and such valuable family time and bonding that can be created through road schooling. And as they learn and grow and just the opportunities that they have, whether we're taking a curriculum with us or we're just kind of learning as we go, there's so much to be gained through the whole experience of traveling. Traveling is something I really enjoy. I've done a little bit of traveling. There's a lot more travel left in me, and I would love to share it with my family and just kind of take off one day and don't come back for a little while. Take off for a few months or a few years even, and just go out and see and learn about people and share the love of God with people while we're on the road and just kind of be a light everywhere that we go. So this road schooling thing, you know, it gives them an opportunity to be exposed to so many things. From time management, planning, there's math involved in coordinating mileage, finances and calculating money and expenses associated with it. There is just such a huge historical factor in road schooling as well that, you know, your kids can learn from different places that they travel to and what happened in those cities and states or countries and how that has kind of built the America we are today and the world that we are living in today in modern times. And so road schooling is something that I really hope to do one day with my family. As I mentioned, if the opportunity presents itself, there's so much to learn with it. If we do it, I will definitely video it and put it out here for everyone. It's nowhere in the plan right now for us. But, you know, there are some things that I am doing to kind of meet that desire since we're not in a position to pick up everything and leave and start traveling and homeschooling our kids right now. And that is revolved around field trips with my family. And so, but before I jump into field trips, I just kind of want to touch on a few things because if you've been thinking about road schooling, I did do a little research and wanted to share with you some of the things that you may want to consider if you're planning on looking at road schooling in your future as well. So your state where you homeschool is very important, and you want to make sure you know your state homeschool laws. You can double check that on the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, HSLDA, and they can kind of give you the information that you need to make sure that you can legally homeschool on the road. It is legal to homeschool on the road, but you just want to make sure you're following certain guidelines. And if you plan on staying somewhere in a country or a state for a while, I'd say more than 30 days or so, you may want to look into what their state or area regulations of homeschool are, just to make sure you are aware of them as you're there. And you may also seek legal counsel after you plan out your map for your road trip. And if you don't have a map, if you're kind of playing it as you go, you may just want to do a little bit of research ahead just so that you can be prepared and know how to handle any situation you may encounter in other states with different homeschool laws and other countries with varying homeschool regulations in place. And so something to consider also, if you are picking up and you're going to get an RV and you say, we're doing this road schooling thing all the way 100%, is to kind of check and see once you've identified your state that you live in, how easy it's going to be for you to do road schooling based upon your state regulations, guidelines, what they require you as far as check-ins and reporting. It may be easier for you to look into changing your domicile state to another state that is more accommodating and easier for you while you're traveling and on the road. So those are some of the different things I look at. Fortunately for me, I live in a state that has very low regulations, so it would be really easy for us to just get up and pick up and pack up one day and hit the road if that opportunity presents itself and we're led to do that. But in the meanwhile, as I mentioned, how I'm meeting that need has been through field trips with my girls and my family. My husband comes on field trips with us also sometimes, and it kind of is meeting that desire a little bit. And for field trips, I have planned field trips since we started homeschooling. Before we started homeschooling, I had field trips that I would take my children on. But I have been more purposeful about them even since we began homeschooling. I think last year we did about one field trip every month. This year I'm hoping and planning on doing many more field trips and learning excursions for my family throughout the school year. And so I wanted to give you some different ideas as far as like how we do field tripping as a family. One of the things I look at is if we're going to go during the weekday. Typically we do go the weekday. We usually don't go out on the weekends when everyone else is traveling and out and about. We'll take a weekday or a couple of weekdays if necessary. Sometimes we do the weekend travel as well. Just depends on the work schedule for our household. But we, for day trips, look within our state up to about 200 miles out from our home. And we have so many things that we can learn and experience just in our local area is what I'm going to call it. When people talk about doing staycations, for example, I think it's reported through data that is like anything within 180 miles from your home or so. And so I say about 200 miles or so from our home. That's usually about 2.5 hour drive or something like that. Typically, and you can get there in a day and turn around and come back that evening if you want to, or you can do an overnight stay. And so some of the things that I would recommend you look into and some of the things that we've done have been museums. There's so many different types of museums, from children's museums to art museums to science museums, a ton of historical museums that are around our area. We even have an ice cream museum in our area. And so just kind of find out what all those museums are around your area and map them out or see which ones that you want to go to. Another exciting field trip is camping, overnight stays, and hiking. And that gives you an opportunity to do a lot of nature exploration and see science out in nature. And you can do camping through your state parks in the state park grounds. And you can also do camping through the city if they organize camp days and things like that in their local parks. And there's hiking that you can do with local park rangers, or you can find a trail on your own in your community and head out on that trail. I know where I live, we have trails in so many communities, so many areas, so many nature trails. They're just not neighborhoods, but they're off in where the parks are. And so you really feel like that you're out in one with nature when you go out onto those trails. So another thing is to consider farms and farmers market. There's so much. This is where we get our food. This is where our agriculture is. And so it's always fun to visit local farms, and farms do different things. There's different types of farms. There's dairy farms, there's fruit farms. So there's different types of farms. There are farms that are set up for tours oftentimes that you can catch where they're actually teaching and doing lessons, and they actually cater to educating you when you come in about the farm and how it works. And then there's farmers markets as well, where you can go out and explore. That's one way to find out what farms are in your area, is to go to some local farmers markets to see, who's represented there. And is it a turkey farm? Is it a chicken farm? What kind of harvest or crop or animal do they have? And are they open to the public? And sometimes these small businesses, whether they're commercialized type businesses, they actually welcome people to come and take a look around. And so that would be another suggestion I have, is checking out some of the local mom and pop shops. These are going to be places like small businesses, like your bakeries. If you have someone that's into pastry making, maybe you could see if they have a tour of a bakery available in your area. Where we live, not far from here, a couple hours away, is the Bluebell Ice Creamery. And so they do tours to the public. We also have many other state things that we can go to living in Texas that are so close to where we are. We have the Alamo, we have the Texas History Museum, we have Washington on the Brazos, that we can go to here in Texas. And for someone that actually lives in a state that's on a border state, you may even be able to cross over that border within like your travel timeline, whichever time you have, whether you're like, I'll take an hour and a half trip, or I'll take a 2.5 hour day trip, depending on what, you set for your personal guidelines for your family. You may be able to start exploring over state boundary lines and kind of getting exposed to even more opportunities and field trips for your family. We also have a few beaches here. So beaches are great when you're studying oceanography, marine biology, marine life. That's always fun to go out to the beaches. Even if you're studying things about just like protecting the earth and, picking up trash and things like that to just kind of keep our earth clean. That is something else that's fun. And, just being at the beach and getting in the ocean itself is a ton of fun on its own. But there's so many learning opportunities that come along with the beaches. And a lot of beach towns will have aquariums that you can visit as well. We have several aquariums throughout the state of Texas, I know. And we also have space centers across the state of Texas as well. If you have a child that's in high school that's interested in like manufacturing or engineering or something like that, you may look into getting them involved in going to tour certain businesses that offer tours available. You may call and check and see if you can go in for a tour. I know that when I was a student, I had a lot of opportunities to go and to look at many businesses, whether it was like, at the time it was like newspapers and advertising and things like that. And I would go on these tours of advertising agencies, people that did print publications, I would tour them. And I also had went and toured some semiconductors. You'd be surprised, pick up the phone, or if someone works in an industry, ask them about that opportunity to get your child in there that's interested, or maybe they're not interested. Maybe you just want to expose them to some things because maybe they have a bent to a certain area, just so they could see and learn what it's all about hands-on and face-to-face. This goes for sports facilities also. There are baseball fields that, you can go on tours of, and different stadiums that may open up for tours as well. I know a lot of things have changed, but I feel like things are kind of going back that way to where the opportunity is there for us to, be able to tour and enjoy some of the different things in your cities and in your states. Even if it's universities, a lot of universities have a lot of history on them and museums on them as well. So that's something else to consider when you're looking for field trips for your homeschool family. Historical homes and sites around your city or state is also another great opportunity to consider with your homeschoolers, in addition to state monuments. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to become a tourist of your own city and of your own state. Just as you're traveling for pleasure, that's a point of traveling, is getting out and enjoying creation, enjoying different experiences, tasting new food, is seeing and learning about new cultures. So that's kind of the joy in traveling and the joy in road schooling. You and your family get to be exposed to all these new things. And I feel like that it just really, travel kind of makes people well-rounded in a way where, you know, we're just not looking at our culture, at our community, and just to see there's different ways of life that people have come from. And it just kind of really, as you travel, you meet new people, and it could really open up a lot of doors of opportunity. So anyway, I'm excited for anyone that may be thinking about this and is about to do road schooling. You know, my best goes out to you. And if you've done this before, even if it's been for a short span, like over a summer for 3 months or something, make a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experience. I'm sure we all would love to hear about it. Well, those are just some of the ideas that I wanted to share with you. Appreciate you guys for watching my video today. Thank you so much. I really value you guys for supporting my channel. Make sure you give this video a like. It really pushes my content out to more people that are looking to understand road schooling, or maybe they can't road school right now like me, and so having some ideas for some field trips for the homeschool family would be really great for them. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then.